at Athelton High School. Tonight, 26 of the best scholastic wrestlers in Howard County will wrestle for the county title. County championships in 13 weight classes will be crowned. 7 of tonight's competitors are past county varsity title holders. In 8 of this evening's 13 matches, you'll be seeing the top 2 seeds in the tournament. Now, in team competition, Oakland Mills has won 8 of the last 10 county titles, including the last 2. The Scorpions currently have a commanding lead over second-place Hammond. Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Bassett, and welcome to the 23rd Annual Howard County Wrestling Championship. We're happy to have you with us tonight, and we believe in the 13 matches that you're going to see. You're going to see some absolutely exceptional wrestling, which is usually the case here in Howard County. Let me introduce to you our 2 broadcast partners tonight. To my immediate right is Al Wilgard. He coached for more than 18 years scholastic wrestling at the high school level. He coached at Howard High School for a number of years, and he's also been a mainstay of the Howard County wrestling program for many, many years. And to his right is Steve Carnahan. Steve, for 14 years, was the wrestling coach at Oakland Mills and won a number of county titles. He also won 3 state championships, and he himself was a former state wrestling champion when he was at Springbrook High School in Montgomery County. Nice to have you both with us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here, Steve.
Let's talk first, Al, about the seating arrangement and how the kids that we're going to see tonight got into the finals.
Okay, Steve. Prior to the tournament, there's a meeting of the county wrestling coaches and the tournament directors. And, of course, the purpose of the meeting is to seed the wrestlers. As you alluded to, there are 13 weight classes, 8 wrestlers, 1 from each high school are entered in a weight class. The seeding is accomplished by criteria. The wrestler who has accumulated the greatest number of points during overall county competition is awarded the higher seed. Now, if 2 wrestlers were tied in total number of points, then a winner of a head-to-head bout would receive the higher seed. In a case that such a bout did not occur, then the best overall record is determined to have the higher seed. After the seeding process is completed, then the wrestler's name is placed within an 8-man bracket. In the top half of the bracket, you'll find number 1 seed paired against the 8th seed, and the 5th seed paired against the 4th seed. As we look at the lower half of the bracket, we find the 3rd seed going against the 6th seed, and the 7th seed is going to wrestle the 2nd seed. All wrestlers advancing, whether it would be in the consolation or the championship bracket, are awarded advancement and placement points for their teams. These points could range for 20 points for finishing first in a weight class to 4 points for finishing 6th.
Can sometimes get complicated. On the other hand, that's how team points can be accumulated as we not only look at individual matches tonight, but we also watch to see who, in fact, will win the team championship. Steve, let's talk a little bit about some of the competitors. We mentioned that 8 of the 13 matches, the top 2 seeds will be wrestling. So we've clearly got some top-notch competition here for the finals.
We do, and you never know quite what's going to happen. Last year, I think there were 7 champions who were not the top seeds. This year, we've had a number of top seeds knocked off, but we have 7 defending county champions returning this year. They are all top seeds. 4 of them really stand out in my mind. The first one is Adam Seidman, a junior from Oakland Mills, who is undefeated in county competition, ranked 5th in the state, and Adam is going for his 3rd title in 3 years. He has a teammate, Joe Salinas, who's a senior, who pinned his way through the tournament last year, earned a pin in the first round this afternoon, and Joe, in my opinion, is probably the most improved wrestler in the county. We also have one other Oakland Mills wrestler, Monty Spencer, another senior, who is the county, regional, and defending 3A, 4A state champion. Monty's won every match this year except one that he lost 1-0 in overtime to the number 2 ranked heavyweight in the state. And finally, from Wild Lake, we have a junior, Nathan Casella, who will, if he wins tonight, join his 2 brothers, Ben and Adam, who were previous Howard County champions. If he wins tonight, he'll be on track to win 3 county titles and equal the achievement by another Wild Lake wrestler, the only one to have won 3 county titles, Andy Stone. So those 4 guys probably should all do very well at the state tournament level as well after tonight.
Should be a lot of fun. Should be some exciting wrestling coming up this evening from Atholton High School. If you've never seen amateur wrestling either at the interscholastic or the collegiate or the international level, then you're certainly in for a treat this evening. This is not the WWF, and you're not going to hear names like Hulk and Snake. This is a different kind of wrestling. This is pure and simply championship wrestling at its best. And we're happy to have you with us this evening. We'll be back for the introduction of tonight's finalists right after this.
Follow the Howard County Board of Education as they discuss the policies and procedures that affect everyone in the educational community. You'll be on hand for each discussion and decision your board makes right up to the final vote. Take an active part in your school system. Watch Board of Education Report right here on Cable 8, a feature production of the Howard County Public School System.
We're back at Atholton High School, just moments away from the start of the 103-pound class. Match between Dan Prue and Steve Cho. Let's meet the competitors. From Hammond High School, a sophomore, Dan Prue. Dan is 22-7 and 1 overall, 5-1-1 in Howard County. He's the top seed in the 103-pound class. He received a first round bye, and in the second round, he beat Yuri Freeman from Oakland Mills. And he'll be facing a junior from Glenelg High School, Steve Cho. Steve was 13-8 overall this year, 5-2 in the county, and he is seated 3rd in the tournament. He won his second round match against Jason Nagel from Centennial to get to the finals. So it's Dan Prue and Steve Cho for the 103-pound championship. We pick up the action in the second period. Cho leads 2-1. Team competition right now. Oakland Mills has 197 points, Hammond 194, so it's a close match for the team title as well.
Right off the whistle, you saw Dan try the switch there, but Steve countered with a good ankle pick. He's got to get back on his base. He hopes to score any points. There's nothing down there when you're flat on your stomach.
Okay, and we watched Dan. He did get to his base, and you notice he didn't do a push-up to do it. He brings a knee underneath the hip, and then he builds up over that knee. He's coming up off the mat, and he's trying to get hand control. That is controlling one of your opponent's hands. He's trying to switch from the standing position. He tried to switch, and Steve Cho countered that switch.
Still a 2-1 match, 1:17 left in period number 2. We're at Atholton High School. These are the County Wrestling Championships.
A little slow off the whistle there. You've got to explode off that whistle if you're on bottom. You want to get out of there. Little hesitant.
I'll mention all of these competitors tonight wrestled one time earlier today in the semifinals, so some may be a little bit tired.
Yeah, and it's 9:45. I think we're all a little tired.
We see Steve there. He was riding with a 2-on-1. Steve seems to do a real nice job in two facets of riding. Number one, as we see a shot of Glenelg's first-year coach, Jeff Kent, doing a nice job in his rookie season with the Gladiators. That time, what Steve Carnahan alluded to, Dan exploded from the bottom position and got his one-point escape, and then just came around working underneath the arms to get a 2-point takedown.
Prue leads 4-2. We're down to the last 25 seconds of period number 2.
And Dan seems to be controlling him with a deep waist, and from the deep waist, he's going into an arm bar. When you secure that arm bar, as we see on the screen, you want to take your opponent's elbow and prevent it from getting to the side of his body. You like to keep that elbow in behind the opponent's body, and you like to keep your weight on the opponent to keep his front end down. Dan seems to be doing a good job of that.
That's the end of 2 periods now, and Dan Prue, the sophomore from Hammond, Leads his opponent, Steve Cho, 4-2.
Steve Cho, kind of interesting. Last year he was in this tournament at 112. Very rarely do you see guys drop down from one weight class to another. Okay, takedown wins it here. Third period. It's 4-3.
Steve Cho within one.
I think this is an important match for Hammond if they want to stay in the team title hunt. They almost have to have this title.
You bet. Right now they're only 3 points behind county leading Oakland Mills.
And they could pick up 3 placement points if they win this, at least.
Four to 3, Prue leads. We're in the third period, a minute and a half left.
Steve's been initiating most of the takedowns. He's getting in there, but he's having a lot of trouble finishing them off.
There we have a good shot of a front headlock. And you saw Dan start to spin around. Dan did a good job of keeping the front end down of Steve Cho.
With 112 left in this match, it's still anybody's match.
And there we see the Hammond coaching staff led by Coach Bill Smith.
We're down to a minute now left in this match. Prue still leads by 1, 4-3.
Headlock. 2 plus back point.
Cho has the lead, 5-4.
Dan's trying to roll through. Steve countered that roll through by stepping back over and getting his hips back away from his opponent.
What an explosion by Steve Cho. If he can hold on for 33 seconds, he'll be the county champion.
And ironic turnaround, too. In their former match, it was Steve Cho that was caught in the headlock and lost by a single point. But the chips are down in the county finals. Steve came through. Big move at a big time.
20 Steve, 20 seconds left.
What Dan wants to try and do is take that left arm as his and get it between his chest and Steve Cho's chest.
Inside of 5. And that's it. And an upset. The third-seeded Steve Cho, a junior from Glenelg, has won the 103-pound weight class county title, beating Dan Prue. Watch the end of the match.
Hey, go ahead, Al.
Go ahead, Steve. All what I was going to say is Steve Cho created daylight between his opponent and himself, allowing him to get his hips in there. That's very important when you use that headlock, to get your hips between you and your opponent so you can use that as a leverage, and then he just took him to his back. Notice in amateur wrestling, you have to have an arm with the headlock. You just can't have the headlock without the arm.
Next up, 112-pound weight class, fifth-seeded Fennell Howell against Scott Cooper, the number 2 seed. Let's meet them. Fennell Howell is a junior from Wild Lake. This year he was 10-7 and 1 overall, 4-2 and 1 in the county, and he is the 5th seed in the 112-pound class. In the first round, he beat John Motley from Hammond, and then a major upset in the semifinals when he beat Jason Sturm from Athelton. He'll face Scott Cooper from Mount Hebron. Scott is a junior, 17-3 and 1 overall, 4-2 and 1. In Howard County this past year, he is the 2nd-seeded wrestler in the 112-pound class. In the second round semifinals, he beat Jamie Arnsmeyer from Glenelg. So it's Howell against Cooper for the 112-pound title. We pick up the action in the second period. It's scoreless. We've just begun the second period, 1:40 remaining in that period. We're still scoreless between these two gentlemen, Fennell Howell and Scott Cooper.
Right now you see Fennell Howell, his arms around Scott Cooper's waist. We call that a deep waist, where he tries to control the far hip. You can see his right hand on that far hip. He's trying to control it with a deep waist and a head lever series, bringing that arm back.
Cooper has tried a couple of switches, but it's just not going to be there unless he clears that inside arm. He's leaving that trailing behind. There he goes again. Reach back. This time he came back from the switch. And
there's the first 2 points for a reversal.
Yep. Minute in the match, and he's up now 2-0.
What Scott Cooper did there from the bottom was very good. He tried to switch. He doesn't work. He came back to the inside on a sit out, That was his second move. The first move doesn't work from the bottom, go immediately to the second move.
35 seconds left in period number 2.
And then again, we saw Scott Cooper controlling Fennell with that deep waist, and both these gentlemen are doing a good job using that. They're getting their arms all the way across and controlling that far hip. Another thing you try and do on top is not allow any daylight between you and your opponent. Really stay tight into your hips.
Hal's back on his feet, and he too is trying to standing switch. Lock hands call.
And Scott Cooper, that's a technical violation. That'll be 1 point for Fennell. You're not allowed to lock hands unless you're in a pinning combination.
You can lock hands from a standing position, but once you get down to the mat, you have to break that grip, and he was a little late.
That makes it a 2-1 match. 25 seconds remaining in the second period.
Your secret on top when you're breaking your opponent down, drive off of both feet and move your opponent. Circular, right, left, or forward. But move that opponent and drive from both your feet. And that time, Scott Cooper did a real good job of that. The worst thing you can do up top is just hang on to your opponent. But right now, Scott's breaking Fennell down to the mat. And again, he's not allowing any daylight in the hips. He's really closing up that area.
That's the end of 2 periods. We go to period number 3 with Cooper leading 2-1.
And they picked neutral here for third period. So once again, we're in the third period, and a takedown's going to win it here. Let's put someone in the driver's seat in the final period.
Both wrestlers seem to be overextended. By that I mean in a good position, in a takedown position, you don't want your armpits out over in front of your knees. You want to have your back straight up and down, not parallel to the mat. When you do that, you make yourself very susceptible to a lot of takedowns. Here we see the front headlock by Fennell. Hal as a counter to Scott Cooper, and again, Scott Cooper was really just overextended.
Cooper's hanging on to the leg, stepping across. Hal's off his hips.
We're down to 1:05 now remaining in this match.
Just trying to get some height, work the position here, see if he can scramble into controlled position.
That's right. What the referee's looking for here is control. Does he have control? He necessarily doesn't have to get his head out.
Cooper needs to elevate that leg and get some height. Didn't do it in enough time, though.
This is a stalemate. The referee has determined that neither wrestler could have bettered their position from that particular situation.
Cooper has another chance, 2-1.
40 seconds left.
If Cooper can hold on for 25 more seconds, he'll be the county champion.
I think Fennell is hurting himself by staying in that tie-up position. I don't know what he's trying to do. Obviously, he's trying to do some kind of throw, and I don't think he's going to succeed because Cooper has his hips back.
Yeah, they're tied up too tight. They need something quick. Just set and go. He's still reaching.
Still reaching that overextension.
15 seconds. Hal trying to get his opponent on his back.
The referee had called him out of bounds. It looked like Fennell was trying to elevate his man from underneath the armpits and go into a bear hug.
9 seconds. You'll probably see a desperation shot here. But again, just kind of reaching in. Another close match.
That's the match. And Scott Cooper, the junior from Mount Hebron, has won the county title in the 112-pound weight class. Next up, the 119-pound weight class, and 2 terrific competitors. Mark Grinspoon from Howard. He's the top seed in this class, along with junior Nick Yoon from Wild Lake High School. Let's meet them. Mark Grinspoon is from Howard High. He is a junior, 18-4 overall this year, 6-1 in county action, and he is the top seed in the 119-pound class. In the first round, he defeated Jeremy Smith from Glenelg. In the second round, he beat Brian Law from Hammond. He'll face from Wild Lake High a junior, Nick Yoon. Nick was 16-8 overall and unbeaten in Howard County, 7-0. He is the second seed in the 119-pound class. He beat Steve Colder from Mount Hebron in the first round and Jason Marrero from Oakland Mills in the semifinals. So it will be Grinspoon against Yoon. This is the 119-pound championship. With Yoon leading 4-1, we go to the second period.
4 points.
And at the end of period number 1, Nick Yoon from Wild Lake leads it 4-1. We're into period number 2.
Yoon's controlling that near arm on 3 different occasions now very effectively.
And notice when need be, he comes off of it. Again, all the time controlling the waist. We look at the man at the bottom like a 4-legged table, and we try and control 2 of those legs. Of course, when we deal with the wrestler, we're talking about extremities.
Grinspoon, the top seed in this weight class. Yoon, the number 2 seed. And right now, it's Yoon with a 4-1 lead.
I'm not quite sure how that happened. Yoon is the one that's 7-0, and Grinspoon has the lone loss.
In the county.
Yes, that's correct. It must have been in another weight class. Grinspoon has his hands full here.
Yeah, you bet. Yoon looks strong. We're under a minute left in period number 2. Still a 4-1 Yoon advantage.
Again, Nick Yoon changes his rides up very well from an arm bar to a 2-on-1. Now he's going to a cross face, and I think we can look for him if he stays in that cross face to attack the back leg. Now he's come off the back leg. He's going reaching for the right hand. Now he cups the shoulder. Very active on top, and that's what you have to be a good mat wrestler. Very active, whether you're on the top or bottom, you initiate the wrestling.
What tremendous athletic ability by wrestlers. They never get their due attention. It's always other sports that receive the preponderance of the attention, but these athletes are just superior.
That is a long time out there. You can say 6 minutes, you think that isn't too bad, but that is a long time. And especially when you're doing it 2 or 3 bouts, 4 bouts on a weekend.
We've got a delay in the action.
A little nosebleed by Nick Yoon.
Okay, now there will be no injury time for that. If a wrestler is injured, you usually get 2 minutes injury time. However, to stop bleeding, the injury clock does not run.
Yoon doesn't want to be out too long. He's got the momentum going in his favor.
Yeah, you bet. He looks fine.
Yeah, he is fine. Nosebleed's really nothing for a wrestler. They're well accustomed to that.
Fred Bullock having a few final words with Grinspoon.
Even though the match is 4-1 at this juncture, I would have to say that Nick Yoon is dominating the action.
And he came out real hungry and has continued to be aggressive for the first 4 minutes.
We only have 19 seconds remaining in the second period.
And we can see Coach Jackson instructing Nick Yoon what to do in regards to not only this period, but the third period. You always let wrestler, where you are. You're 4-1. What time is left, and you always want to build his confidence.
As we go through the matches, we want to talk a little bit about the selection of offensive and defensive positions as well.
Okay.
Well, time's going to run out. He got to his feet that time and tried to do a standing switch, but Yoon is just sticking like glue.
This time, Nick Yoon has stuck a leg in. We call it a cross-body ride, where he put his left leg in as a method of controlling his opponent.
That's the end of 2 periods. Still a 4-1 advantage by Nick Yoon of Wild Lake.
This is the first time we get to see Nick on bottom.
And there's Coach Fred Bullock of Howard High School. I think he's in his second year of coaching at Howard. Now Nick Yoon with a stand-up, and notice the hand control. See how he controlled his hands? See how he took his hips to the sky.
And there he is right back in on another takedown shot.
That's
He's
right.
not going to coast.
And that was a point for him. It's a 6-1 lead now.
The best time to shoot a takedown is right after escape, and that's what Nick Yoon has done. Nick seems to be very well coached.
And also pretty clearly in a command position in this match.
That's right. There he is in his head under arm series. Again, he tried to control that tricep. When you let that tricep go like he did near the out of bounds, then you're going to get in a little bit of difficulty.
Catch-up wrestling is extremely hard, and Greenspoon right now would have to have a mighty big takedown to a near-fall position in order to get back in the match.
What we call a home run from your feet, a takedown and putting him right to his back.
Oh, what good camera work.
Yes, excellent camera
Look
work.
at Yoon's face. Look at him struggle.
Again, I don't know what he's trying to work now. And Greenspoon took advantage. He just hung underneath there, and Mark Greenspoon took advantage to him, just spun around behind.
Now 6-3, Yoon lead.
And Nick just got out from the bottom and making it 7-3 with 42 seconds remaining in the bout.
Nick's getting a little sloppy now. It looks like a little fatigue setting in. He knows he has a comfortable lead. There's just 25 seconds left.
And you can see Mark Greenspoon trying desperately to try and turn him.
14 seconds remaining. Problem here is if he tries some kind of desperation move, he may ultimately make a mistake and put himself completely out of the match.
But let's give Mark Greenspoon some credit. He's come back from a 3-4 point deficit and cut it to 2. He has to put him on his back.
Out of bounds with 1 second. What do you do here, Al?
Shake his hand.
Another close one, 7-5.
Final score, 7-5, and Nick Yoon from Wild Lake wins the county championship in the 119-pound weight class. We'll be back with more at Atholton High right after this.
The talk is fast and furious in our open discussion of topics facing the Howard County Public School System. Join moderator Alan Starkey for Viewpoint, as each month, panel members from the Board of Education, administrative staff, school-based personnel, students, PTA members, and the community square off to air their views on educational issues. It's a lively forum of ideas on Viewpoint, a feature production of the Howard County Public School System, right here on Cable 8.
All right, we're back at Atholton High School. Coming up next, the 125-pound weight class. That will be between top-seeded Mike Maughan and second-seeded Joe Neville. Maughan from Oakland Mills, Neville from Glenelg. Let's meet them. Mike Maughan is the top seed in the 125-pound class. He comes from Oakland Mills High School. He's a senior. 18-5 was his overall record this past season. He was 5-2 in the county. He is the defending 130-pound champion. He got a first-round bye, and then in the second round, defeated Aaron Woodward from Hammond High. He'll take on Joe Neville. Joe comes from Glenelg. He's a senior also. 19-1-2 overall record this past year. He was 5-0-2 in the county. He's the second seed in the 125-pound class. So it will be Maughan against Neville for the 125-pound championship. Mike Maughan ahead 2-0 as we go to the second period. Just underway in the second period. This is the 125-pound weight class. Mike Maughan and Joe Neville.
Now we see Joe Neville riding with a little different style that we haven't seen before, and that's what we call a leg wrestler, by sticking his leg in there in what we call a cross-body ride, and he's trying to keep that knee of Mike Maughan's elevated above his hips.
This is what gave Mike Maughan trouble in their earlier bout, but Neville won. Neville was superior with his leg wrestling and frustrated Mike and was able to control him. We'll see if Mike is ready for that tonight. Coming up, this Neville trying for a split. And Mike's coming out. Neville dropped his hips. Mike Maughan was able to step across. There it is, right there. 2 points, reversal for Maughan. 4-2 now. That was a big move for Mike to get out of those legs.
Big move psychologically.
Yes.
For both wrestlers, for Mike positive, for Joe negative. Especially if he had success with him in the dual meet.
Down to 35 seconds now remaining in period number 2.
Mike trying to lift that far ankle.
Anytime you lift an ankle,
off the base.
lift it at the shoelace. And he's in there tight. He also has a crossbody ride. And that crossbody ride, you like to get that far arm and control it.
Back at the edge of the mat. Looks like we're going to get another fresh start here. Well, the period may end.
And it does. That's the end of 2 periods. Mike Maughan and Joe Neville, and Mike Maughan still leads 4-0.
See what Mike may take standing position here. He may go neutral rather than take the down position.
And there we have Jeff Kent once again, the first-year coach at Glenelg.
You know, Mike got the earlier takedown, and once again he's in on a quick single leg attack.
And then that single leg, he led with the inside arm, and that way Joe Neville wasn't able to counter with an overhook.
And there's his 2. 6-0, Mike Maughan from Oakland Mills, 3rd period. And he's got the arm gathered in. He's in the driver's seat right now.
And also notice how he was driving his knee up the buttocks of Joe Neville to keep him off his base.
He's got that arm bar, and now he's off his base, but he took it perpendicular. Didn't get the right kind of pressure on that arm bar and lost control. Reversed. 6-2 now. And Neville's back in with a leg.
Joe Neville knows he needs to turn him from this position. He doesn't want to get back up on his feet where Mike Maughan has scored 4 points, 4 of his 6 points. This is where Joe Neville is going to score his points from the top.
We're under a minute remaining now in the 3rd period. Maughan leads by 4 points, 6-2.
Mike can't afford to stay down on the bottom. May see a stand up here, although he has a nice Granby roll, but he probably wants to get to his feet right now.
On that stand-up, you want to challenge back with your hips. Go back into your opponent. Challenge back, we call it.
And here comes Peterson. Mike Maughan with a reversal. Picked up the near leg and the arm.
And he was smart enough to continue on, and he turned towards the hips. He didn't turn towards the head.
8-2, Maughan leads, 25 seconds left.
Mike Maughan has looked very impressive tonight.
He's looked quicker and he's looked stronger.
You see Neville trying to switch, and you're not going to be too successful with a switch as long as your buttocks is on the mat and you're staying parallel to your opponent. On a switch, you want to create an angle, get your buttock off the deck.
And the top-seeded Mike Maughan wins the county title at the 125-pound weight class. His 2nd consecutive county title, and they've been earned in 2 different weight classes. Last year, 130-pound weight class. So Mike Maughan from Oakland Mills, the 125-pound champion.
Great start for Oakland Mills in their first finals match in the championship.
Let's go to the 130-pound weight class between Chris Turner and Chris Williams. Chris Turner from Wild Lake is the top seed in the 130-pound class. Chris is only a sophomore. His record in overall competition this year was 20-4. He was unbeaten 7-0 in Howard County. He received a first-round bye, and then in the semifinals defeated Steve Boswell. Chris Williams from Hammond High is his competition. Chris is a sophomore. He's the 2nd seed in this class. He was 21-6-1 overall, 5-1-1 in the county. In the first round, he beat Andy Marshall from Glenelg, and then in the 2nd round, defeated Bill Chedester from Centennial. So it will be Turner and Williams for the 130-pound championship. We pick up the action in the 2nd period. Williams leads 3-1.
reverse that time. Feels he's superior on his feet. So that time, essentially, he let Williams get to his feet, thinking he'd give up one and gain two on a takedown. We'll see if that strategy works.
Well, what that's done is that puts Williams in the lead 3-2.
Williams is trying to control the collar of Chris Turner, and he tried a head and heel, taking that collar to the posted foot of Chris Turner's.
Interesting strategy by
Williams. Williams, it backfires. Williams gets the takedown, and he looks like he's going to get backwards out of this as well.
If he holds that position for longer than 5 seconds, the worst he'll get is 3 points.
And we've got over a minute to go in this period. A long haul. He probably needs to try and figure out where that out of bounds is and get the heck out of there.
What Chris Turner wants to do is try and get that left arm between his body and Chris Williams'. Bridge up on that inside shoulder and neck and try and bring that left arm through. It's a lot easier said than done because Chris Williams has that real tight reverse half Nelson and a far arm.
Here come a lot of points now. The officials awarding the points, the takedown, the near fall. We have Williams now in control 8-2 with 27 seconds left.
Not only did the strategy backfire, it absolutely exploded.
That time you can tell Chris Williams is really gaining confidence. That time he countered Chris Turner's stand-up with a front trip. Again, I know we emphasize it, but the hips are everything on the stand-up. The hips and hand control. Now Turner changes strategy and comes with a sit-out. But he just stayed there. Again, from the bottom of your first move doesn't work, then you got to go directly to a second move. If you become stationary, you're very easy to control.
Yeah, 8-2 at the end of 2 periods. Let's talk a little bit about the strategy.
Well, right now, I don't know who has choice. If it's Chris Turner, I think I would get up on my feet and try and hit a home run from my feet. And that looks exactly what he's going to try and do. Take your shot, get out of there, come back with a second shot.
Unfortunately for Chris, though, home runs are hard to hit.
That's true.
Especially when you know someone's trying to hit one.
Both Chris's, Williams and Turner, are very quick on their feet.
And you can see the desperation in the face of Chris Turner. He wants to get back quickly and he wants to wrestle quickly.
They just warned Chris Williams of Hammond for stalling. You got to stay in that little 10-foot ring and wrestle. You just can't back out of there at the whistle. Chris Turner, you can't hang. You cannot hang. When you're behind, again, you got to be touch and go, take your shot. If you don't get it, back on out of there and then take a second shot. If you're just hanging on, you're going to play into your opponent's hands. Here we just saw a nice single leg from Chris Williams of Hammond.
Turner's hanging on the leg right now. No control established until Williams hooks one of the legs and gets him at least hip to hip. He's real close to getting the two right now.
Use a crossface, turn that head away, and garner the farm arm, and he can start turning him on his back. Bill Smith, Coach Smith, telling him what to do, and Chris Williams listening.
You can see the face of Chris Turner.
Yeah, Turner, though, is running out of time. This works in Williams' favor, and there he gets the takedown with 2. And he may get, well, looks like he might have got a near fall situation coming up.
10-2, Chris Williams leads, and we're under 45 seconds left.
Turner's just frustrated now.
Turner tried to stand up, turn in, and execute a throw, and Chris Williams just extended his hips back to counter that throw. That might have been Chris Turner's best stand-up of the match, though. Again, Williams of Hammond going through a thing that has worked for him very well, and why not? And that's attacking up through the rear crotch. Chris Turner show he's not been able to counter that particular counter to his stand-up.
Two sophomores. We'll see them for a couple of more years in this county.
Two good sophomores too. They make their mistakes as you would expect for sophomores, but they're both exceptional athletes.
Chris Williams,
And that's it.
it's Chris Williams towards the end there, threw in a half Nelson and turned him.
12-2 the final score. Chris Williams upsets and defeats number 1 seeded Chris Turner to win the 130-pound county title.
And that'll help Coach Smith and the team score, because that's a major decision.
What a match. All righty, we're ready to go with the 135-pound weight class. Top-seeded Adam Seidman and second-seeded Chris Mercurio. Let's meet them. You're looking at Adam Seidman from Oakland Mills. Adam is a junior. 23-2 overall this past season. Unbeaten, 7-0 in the county. In 1991, he was the champion of the 125-pound class. The year before that, he was the champion in the 119-pound class. So Adam is going for his third consecutive county wrestling championship. He received a first-round bye and in the semifinals beat John Weiland from Howard. He'll be going against Chris Mercurio from Hammond High. Chris is a senior. He was 23-5-1 overall this past year, 5-1-1 in the county, and he is the second seed in the 135-pound class. Chris received a first-round bye and then defeated Paul Badawi from Centennial in the semifinals. So it will be Seidman against Mercurio for the 135-pound championship.
Adam Seidman may be one of the outstanding wrestlers in this tournament, as Steve Carnahan alluded to in our pre-match remarks. He was first in 1990 at 119 pounds. He was first in 1991 at 125 pounds. And he's trying to do what only two other wrestlers have done, become a four-time county champion. Those other two wrestlers were Tim Lewis of Appleton and Jeff Rosenberg of Oakland Mills. So Adam needs this match if he's going to match the standards set by Tim Lewis and Jeff Rosenberg.
Seidman in black, Mercurio in his standard gold from Hammond.
12-2 over Chris Turner wildly.
As the weight class goes up, you can see the seriousness increase on the mat.
That's true. Mercurio looked like he tried to get a single leg then, and with an inside lead. And Adam Seidman has come back with a single leg of his own to the right side. Mercurio's doing a good job of countering.
And you saw Mercurio lift Seidman up. I've heard that he can bench over 300 pounds. He's a big, strong kid, but Adam has an enormous amount of finesse.
When you're countering on your feet, you like to keep your hips square to your opponent and basically only counter one half of the body. Don't try and control your opponent's entire body. Work the one half.
Mercurio had a very, very difficult semifinal match. He went to double overtime before he finally won it.
There goes Seidman in again on another leg attack. First to a double, but switched off to a single. Still trying to drive in. Mercurio trying to block with the head. Adam back again. Whoa. Well, that was Mercurio's error. And wrestling really is a game of the wrestler making the fewest mistakes.
And that was a mistake. He tried to throw. It looked like a lateral drop to me. And Adam Seidman's hips were definitely just way too far back to even think of executing a lateral drop or a slow lateral drop.
And Adam Seidman leads 2-0. 20 seconds remaining, first period. This is the 135-pound weight class.
These two gentlemen have met during the dual meet season, and Seidman won 8-2. during that flurry, I think you can see that Simon is a veteran wrestler. During that flurry, there was potential for him to get in trouble. He just stayed very cool. He said, I know I'm going to come out on top, and he just went with Mercurio and stayed on top. That is experience.
Well, Adam's been at this for quite a while. His dad coaches at Walter Johnson in Montgomery County, and Adam has an enormous amount of match sense. He knows position, knows control, understands all those little subtleties of how to maintain control with your opponent.
It's the end of the first period, 2-0.
Here we see the official flipping a disc. The disc is either red or green, and whatever color comes up, he'll ask that particular wrestler to make a decision. That wrestler will have a choice either going top, bottom, or starting in the neutral position, or even fourth, deferring to your opponent and let him make the decision during the second period, and you'll get the decision in the third period.
Adam with a quick sit out, squared right up. Right here, the official's waiting to see if it's going to be 1 or 2. If Adam should, there, looks like he's giving it now. 1 point escape. They're back in a neutral position, and here comes Adam again looking for a takedown right away.
Head underarm series. What made that 1 point escape possible on the whistle, Seidman just exploded. Mercurio did not get off his knees on that top position. I don't care whether you're on the bottom or the top, you must wrestle, you must force the action.
1:21 remaining now in the second period. Seidman's lead is 3-0.
Stalemate. Put them back on their feet. Fresh start.
I guess we should mention that those starting lines are 3 feet apart. The wrestlers do start 3 feet apart. They must have 1 foot on the lines, the starting lines.
Mercurio is a senior, but Adam Seidman is a junior. He'll be back for another year.
Very nice shot right there. Mercurio reached for his head. Seidman saw it coming. He ducked under that, and he tried to attack Mercurio's legs. As Steve alluded to, Simon seems to be a very smart wrestler.
Same mistake by Mercurio. You're just not gonna get a throw like that on a seasoned veteran like Seidman.
Especially when you're not moving, you don't have that opponent his weight coming to you,
right.
Steve.
He didn't set it up.
That's very true.
Ricky Kane Howard to the awards
Again,
area.
Simon, he has that what I call a head lever and a one-on-one. He's keeping his weight down.
Seidman now leads 5-0. We're down inside of 10 seconds remaining in the second period.
Again, Simon, he looks like he's riding high, but he really isn't because of a wrestler of his experience. And he has what we call kinesthetic sense. He knows where he is during a given flurry. And you garner that from just experience.
The end of 2 periods, 5-0. Adam Seidman leads, going for his 3rd county title. And if he wins, of course, he'll set himself up for next year and a possible 4th county title.
And of those 5 points, I would say that Mercurio has hurt himself.
Yes, he has, and he's in a lot of trouble right now. He hasn't found a way to score yet, and it's the 3rd period, and he's down by 5.
Again, we saw Adam Simon very quick off the whistle.
And there goes pinning combination. Mercurio made yet another mistake, let his head and knee come together, and Adam seized the moment with a cradle.
With a cradle. Now what Adam wants to do here is keep cutting his hands, keep bringing him into his chest.
Seidman looking for a fall. Angry that he didn't get it.
And he got out of it.
3 back points for Seidman. It's 8-0 now with 1:12 to go. And Seidman continuing to wrestle aggressively.
Mercurio with a good shoulder roll.
He scores his first point. And here they're neutral now with an escape. 8-1. Seidman. and Seidman spins behind for another takedown.
And what he did, that was hard to see, but what he did, he was underneath. Mercurio didn't control his head, and he got the head back, and he took and did a little arm drag from underneath and came out on top of Mercurio.
And it appears as though Adam Seidman's going to finish the county season undefeated. And all these wrestlers, just about every wrestler here tonight that you see in the finals will be wrestling next week. Howard County will be hosting a regional tournament over at Hammond High. Mercurio and Adam will probably meet again.
And there we see the
assistant coach Davis from Hammond. Former Mount Hebron wrestler.
And there's Mercurio trying to gather his thoughts. The psychological aspect of wrestling, you could talk about that all night long.
And Seidman was just awarded a point, a penalty point. Looked like it was delay of match. Mercurio was too slow getting back to the 10-foot circle.
Well, at this point, it makes it 11-1, 10-1 or 11-1 at this stage with only 34 seconds remaining.
Nope, I think it may not have been delay of match. I think in that pinning combination there was an unsportsmanlike penalty called against Mercurio, which got Seidman excited. So the point was awarded, but now there seems to be a little bit of bad blood between the two.
Well, at this stage, let's just hope we can get through the last 33 seconds of this match and end it.
I'm sure we will. Adam Seidman knows there's a lot on the line. He doesn't want to get disqualified or have a misconduct on him, so he's just going to wrestle.
Remember, these two kids are representing the top two teams in the county in the race for the team title as well. So there's a little added incentive in this match. It's the first head-to-head in the finals between Oakland Mills and Hammond High.
Mercurio was countered, his stand-up was countered by a lift and then a chin pull into a arm bar, and you can see the result. He has a reverse Nelson and an arm bar.
You can hear the crowd. Adam Seidman wins his third county championship, this one in the 135-pound weight class. The top seed cruises to victory.
Expected winner comes out on top there. Seidman has only lost one match in the county in 3 years now.
We've got more wrestling to go from Atholton High. You're watching the best of Howard County Scholastic Athletics on Howard County Cable Channel 8. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
There is a mighty spirit shining out.
In Salisbury, Maryland, the hungry are being fed. In Wind Falls, Indiana, a man who learned to read at 47 is making sure others learn earlier. In Hope, New Mexico, people turned an abandoned school into a thriving community center. In Boston, Massachusetts, neighbors set up a crime hotline that's making their streets safer. From Seattle to Galveston, from Buffalo to Fargo, every day, someone in America is doing something to light up another life. But there is so much more to do. The light to do it is within us all. We only need to share it. Contact the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Let's take a look at the 1992 Howard County Junior Varsity Champions. In the 103-pound class, Bryce Armstrong from Hammond High. At 112, the JV champion is Ryan Armstrong from Hammond High. The 119-pound JV champ is Doris Green from Wild Lake. In the 125-pound class, Kevin Haywood from Centennial. At 130 pounds, the champion Paul Crickard from Oakland Mills. His brother Josh Crickard, the winner at the 135-pound class. The 140-pound JV champ is Jeff Herbert from Oakland Mills. Adam Beach from Hammond took the 145-pound crown. Chad Feckle from Oakland Mills is the 152-pound champion. At 160 pounds, Josh Daft from Oakland Mills. The 171-pound JV champ is Jake Daft from Oakland Mills also. The 189-pound JV champ is Derek Brooks from Oakland Mills. And the JV heavyweight champion for 1992 is Mike Jefferson, also from Oakland Mills. We're back at Athelton High. Next up, the 140-pound weight class, Joe Salinas from Oakland Mills, Bobby Ferrace from Wild Lake. Let's meet them. Joe Salinas is a senior from Oakland Mills. His overall record this past season, 20-7. But in the county, he was undefeated, 7-0, and he is the top seed in the 140-pound class. He received a first-round bye and beat Josh Zucker in the semifinals. He'll face Bobby Ferrace from Wild Lake. Bobby is a senior, 19-4-1 overall this year, 5-1-1 in the county, and he is the second seed and the defending champion of the 135-pound class. In the first round, he defeated Chris Miller. The second round, he defeated Josh Stokes. So it will be Salinas against Ferrace for the 140-pound title. Ferrace in green and Salinas in black.
Salinas with the head under arm series into a fireman's carry.
Joe needs to get that arm around the waist to get the 2. And looks like he's going to get the 2. He's back on the leg now.
He's going to get the 2. He didn't control the arm very well in the head under arm series.
Race back with a series of switches and re-switches.
At 135 pounds, Adam Seidman, Oakland Mills, winner by decision, 13.
And Wild Lake gets 2, reversal right at the edge.
It was a switch, re-switch, whip-over series.
Looks like they both come to wrestle tonight.
They sure did. When you're doing that switch, you got to elevate your hips. Don't let the man step back over you. Keep your hips elevated. That means you have to get your buttocks up off the mat and keep scooting those hips.
Good move by Bobby Ferrace. Ties this match at 2-2.
That's a lot.
Long way to go. Long way to go in this one.
Permitted on the floor. You must leave the floor.
Paritz with an overhead cradle right off the whistle. Notice he has that leg trap. What he should do is hip cut backwards now, put the head in the ribs. He tried it and he had to get out of it. There's a switch. There's a re-switch.
Lots of action in this one. Salinas did a good job, didn't give up any points, and he was in a cradle situation. Now Bobby's struggling just to maintain control. Here comes Joe. He worked his way back in. Can't quite finish.
Double leg, but Bobby Ferrace stepped back over that double leg. Well, Salinas looks in control from the bottom. He has a good perch on that single leg. He's going to lift it up. Now what he should do, he should have his hairline in his opponent's hips.
With the 6 finalists.
That was the end of the first period.
Please report to the awards area.
And Joe Salinas picked up 1 and leads 3-2 as we get ready for period number 2. This is the 140-pound weight class.
This is a lot different than their match during the regular season when Ferrace lost to Salinas by a technical fall in the time of 4:59. I happened to see that bout, and Salinas just dominated the bout at 15-0. Ferrace was unable to score on him.
Remember, both these kids are defending county champions from last year, different weight classes, and both capable of pulling this thing off tonight.
We've seen some real good flurries here, especially with those switch series. Paris sitting out from the bottom and trying to turn in, working to the inside.
And Bobby's off his base. He's not going to be able to score any points as long as he's flat on his stomach. Now he's got his knees back underneath him.
Back underneath, and he's working for hand control. And Salinas breaks his base down. That's a good counter by Salinas to that sit out. He cupped the wrist and he cupped the shoulder and went underneath the shoulder. Now the second time he went over the shoulder, and Paris countered with a beautiful drag. He sat out, Salinas reached over his shoulder, and he came back with a drag and spun around behind.
Now Bobby Paris has the lead at 4-3.
And he just threw in a leg, a cross body ride, but his hips are too low. He has to get up on top of Salinas. He's in danger of losing his leg and letting Salinas step back over. He's scrambling back up on top.
40 seconds remaining in the second period of this match.
Salinas trying to lift the far leg and work back to the inside.
Both wrestlers are having a real hard time controlling each other from the top position.
I know the HoCo Mills, he's probably trying to look for a... He has that leg. I would think he's trying to look for a Peterson. But Paris is able to scramble out of it by countering with a cross face.
Joe coming up to his feet. He needs to square up to get one. And he could get two right here, yep. He came behind the wrestler on his feet and was awarded the 2 points.
And that
Joe's back in lead once again, 5-4 going into the last period.
good match.
Joe's taking the defensive position from the bottom, showing that he can earn a reversal, pick up another 2 points in the final period.
Both of these wrestlers county champions last year.
I was going to say we'll see which man explodes, and it looks like they both exploded at the same time. Good start. Paris' option to try and ride him with controlling the arm underneath.
Got to pick up some back points, otherwise Salinas will win this 5-4. He's got to try and open Salinas up.
Minute 35 remaining in this match.
There's a good switch by Salinas. If he can get his right arm between his body and Paris' body, he's going to get 2 points. Paris is scrambling up on top.
Still a 5-4 match. Salinas leads. We're down to 1:10 left in it.
Bobby's running out of time. He did a nice job of getting his hips back up and getting control again. He's looking for a combination, but Joe's hanging on that near leg.
And Paris is countering that near leg with a cross face to turn his opponent's head away from that leg that Salinas has a perch on.
Less than 35 seconds left in this one.
He's going to try what we call a corkscrew, but he doesn't have enough pressure on it. Looking for going backwards, but Joe's still on that leg. And we're running out of time, 20 seconds. Joe may
Ten
going
seconds.
right down the wire. Potentially dangerous. 9 seconds left in the match.
Joe Salinas almost put himself on the back by trying to sit underneath that leg.
Great comeback by Wild Lake. As we said earlier, Salinas won the previous bout by a technical fall. This one's right down the wire, 5-4, 9 seconds.
We saw Paris come out on his breakdown and try and keep that front end of Joe Salinas down, and he did a good job with it.
And that's it. Joe Salinas wins the county title at the 140-pound weight class. So for the second consecutive year he is a county title holder. Bobby Ferrace gave it all he had, but lost it by 1.
Excellent match.
You bet. They get better as they go also. Now we move on to the 145-pound weight class. Marcus Miles from Oakland Mills, and from Athelton, Tony Zancan. Let's meet them. Marcus Miles is a senior from Oakland Mills. His overall record this year, 21-4. Unbeaten in Howard County action, 7-0. He's the top seed. In the first round, he defeated Mickey Fortune from Centennial. In the second round semifinals, he got by Jeremy Rutter from Glenelg. He'll face Tony Zancan from Athelton. Tony is a senior, 19-7 overall, 4-2 in the county, and he's the third seed in the 145-pound class. Tony defeated Wes Garrison from Mount Hebron in round 1, and then in the semifinals, beat from Hammond, Geroyd Good. So it will be Miles against Zancan for the 145-pound championship. As we go into the second period, the score is tied 2-2.
Marcus Miles to his feet real quick. I think he'd like to try and get back into a neutral position, go takedowns again.
That time Marcus tried to take advantage of the impetus given to him by Tony Zancan, but Tony Zancan tried to front trip him. Marcus Miles tried a shoulder roll. I know Tony. Tony's a very, very hard worker, whether it be out here on the match or in the practice room. Tony is a dedicated wrestler, and he richly deserves to be where he is tonight, wrestling for a championship.
Well, he had a good year, 19-7 overall, 4-2 in the county. He was seated third in the 145-pound weight class.
And again, as Steve mentioned, he's up a weight class. He wrestled sometimes during the year at 140. And those 5 pounds mean an awful lot.
Marcus Miles, unbeaten in county action, 7-0 this year.
Tony Zancan doing a nice job. Look how he crowds in with those hips. Now there's a little daylight. Good move by Marcus Miles. Stood up, turned to the inside, and he dragged that arm by. The difference in that move was as Marcus Miles stood up, Tony Zancan stayed on his knees. If your opponent gets up on his knees, clears the mat, then you got to get up off your knees to counter that move. You can't overextend from that top position.
50 seconds remaining in period number 2. Miles has the advantage, 4-2.
Now this time Marcus isn't going to let him get the switch. Looks like he may let him go and go back to their feet. No, you're going to try and ride him out. See if you can break him down this time. A little high, though. And he gets back behind.
Tony doesn't want him to let Marcus put him on his back with that chin pull.
Marcus having a lot more success now from top, controlling Tony. Just a couple seconds left in the period. Close it out with a 4-2 lead.
I think if I was Tony, I'd stay away from that sit-out. Marcus Miles seems to be looking for it, and he's just waiting to counter that with that chin pull and that shoulder and take him back onto the mat.
We're at Athelton High School. These are the Howard County Wrestling Championships, being brought to you on Howard County Cable Channel 8. I'm Steve Bassett along with Al Wilgard and Steve Carnahan, and we are certainly happy you could join us tonight.
Glad to be here. We're in the third period now. Once again, Tony can put himself right back in this match with a 2-point reversal. He's able to do that in the first period with a switch. We'll see what happens here.
He has to stay away from that sit-out. look for that switch, maybe then come back into the sit out. But don't go to it as a first move. Standing up, trying to work hand control.
Low scoring match, no back points in this one thus far.
Still a 4-2 match. Miles leads.
And
Now
Marcus is going to take
right.
the
He went with
international start.
The optional start. He signified to the referee that he would do it, so the referee could inform the down wrestler.
Miles gives up a point. It's 4-3.
Tony tried a single leg. Zancan tried the single leg, and then Marcus Miles countered it by sprawling back, and now he just hit Tony with a pancake and put him on his back.
Strategy worked. Not only did he get the takedown, but he's going to get backers out of this as well. I can't quite see where they're at on the line over there, but he's got to have. Yeah, he did. He had the shoulders in for the back points. He's got 3 near fall points. 9-3 now.
Well, we've yet to see a fall tonight. All of the champions thus far this evening have been crowned by decisions.
Now Tony has to, well, he's trying to Granby. He's hoping to get both a reversal and get some back points off the reversal. He knows he's got to pick up 6 points in less than a minute in order to come away with a county title.
Marcus Miles doing a good job of crowding him, driving off of both feet, cupping that shoulder.
And it looks like Tony's running out of a little bit of steam. I believe he was out of wrestling for a couple of weeks this season with a heart murmur. It was okay to return, but conditioning might have been affected a little bit.
That was a beautiful standing switch by Tony Zancan. We saw him, he came up, he started to go away from his opponent trailed him, and he came back with that switch.
Bobby Perez to the awards area, please.
A nice move, but a little bit too late.
That's the end of the 145-pound weight class, and Marcus Miles, the senior from Oakland Mills, has won the county title in that weight class. Next up, the 152-pound weight class. 5th seeded senior Ken Tortolani from Centennial against number 3 seed Mac Goody from Hammond. Let's meet them. Ken Tortolani is a senior from Centennial High. He was 10-6-1 overall this year, 4-2 in the county, and what a surprise for the championship match, because he is the 5th seed in the 152-pound class. In round 1, he defeated Seth Eldridge from Howard, and then a major upset in round 2 when he beat Bob McGrain from Wild Lake. He'll face the 3rd seed in the 152-pound class. That's Mac Goody from Hammond. Mac is a junior, 22-6-1 overall, 6-0-1 in county action this year. Mac defeated John Jackson from Glenelg in round 1 and then beat Brian Duvall from Oakland Mills in the semifinals. So it's Tortolani against Goody for the 152-pound championship. Centennial in red, Mac Goody from Hammond in gold.
These two have not met before during this season. Again, if you're getting tied up and you're deeper nose to nose, you're in that deep, I hope you know what you're doing. Whoa! What happened there, Mac Goody, he tried for a single leg. He started to straighten up, and Ken Tortolani came in with a pancake.
Jason Shepard, Jeremy Rutter, Jerome Good, Tony Zink, and Marcus Miles to the awards area, please.
Goody trying to get our first fall of the night.
Tortolani trying to fight off his back. He's,
you can see the shoulder.
He has
a
a
lot
good
of
half
trouble.
Nelson in there. He wants to lift the head, squeeze the head off, as we say, put that fist in the far armpit, and then stay chest to chest, sternum on sternum.
Well, nice move by Tortolani.
Very nice. What he did, he bridged up on that inside shoulder, and he got that arm between the contact points, his sternum and McGoody's sternum.
Problem he's got, though, Goody leads 5-0.
Tony Zankin, Marcus Miles to the awards area, please.
Watch it earlier. Watch the near fall. Look at the
Near
shoulder, and a
fall
good move by Tortolani there.
to get back to a base. Here it comes again. Bridges up on that inside shoulder and neck. And now watch the right arm come through. Watch the right arm come through. That's it, through the contact points. That's good job, Ken. Very nice. That's the only way you're going to get out of there. You deserve a lot of credit.
Good camera work, fellas. Way to stay with it.
Excellent. Again, Ken Tortolani, he's trying for that single leg, and he reaches with that outside arm, and it's easily countered.
Tortolani's picked up 3. It's a 5-3 match. We're down to 10 seconds remaining in period number 1.
He's trying a head under arm series. Again, you have to control that arm, pull that neck.
Goody's doing a great job of countering all of the moves that Ken's initiated. That's the end of the period, 5-3.
Goody seems to have a high degree of balance. That doesn't hurt.
Yeah, he's it's like he's got a gyroscope inside in there. Ken is doing a number of things correctly, but Goody's able to counter just with sheer balance on some of these.
That's right.
maneuvers.
That's how we got out of that pancake situation at the beginning of the first period and put Tortolani on his back.
Goody leads 5-3. We're just underway in the second period. This is the 152-pound weight class.
Again, staying in tight with those hips, controlling the wrist. And he also is trying to control that far leg. Controlling of the extremities. Control at least 2 of the extremities. Riding with a half Nelson. Ken Tortolani trying to work hand control, reaching for the head, trying to spin underneath. And again, this Goody does have a high degree of balance. Moves very well on top, very fluid.
Yes, and he seems to be in good position. He's smart enough to stay behind, and right now Ken's really frustrated not being able to establish any hand control. But it's still close, and we've seen Tortolani upset 2 wrestlers already, so
Yeah,
we've got a long way to go.
As we saw when he fought off his back, this young man is not going to give up. This man is here, and he deserves to be here.
He showed a lot of character, a lot of pride coming off his back.
That's
there.
right. You beat the 4 seed, then you got the 1st seed, and you beat him. That speaks an awful lot for the young man.
42 seconds remaining in the second period. Matt Goody leads by 2, 5-3.
Goody staying in. Now he's trying to keep the near shoulder down. Tortolani frees that, comes to a sit-out position. Goody tries to counter that with a cradle.
Didn't have it tight enough.
That's right. Work to the inside, came out. And
5-5.
This Tortolani, he's not going to give up.
No, now he's throwing legs in.
And he stepped back over him.
No backers yet, and time runs out, but it's all tied up, 5-5, going in the final 2 minutes.
Boy, what a match. What a match, and what a great story this Tortolani is.
Tortolani had the legs in a Jacob's ride, and Goody tried to arm drag it, scoot out, and Tortolani just stepped right back over him, almost put him on his back. It was a very good match, very impressive, both young men.
We've seen good wrestling for the past 2 days here, and certainly the finals tonight have been exceptional.
And you can tell these gentlemen are in condition. You don't see either one of these wrestlers breathing hard.
unlike the announcers.
Tortolani once again, I'm sorry, Steve, once again with the legs, controlling that far arm. This is one of the few regular leg wrestlers we've seen control this far arm. Now he's trying to go for a split scissors. And those legs, you have to take what your opponent's going to give you. Don't force it. That's exactly right. Again, I don't know if he should be on that leg or if he should take the arm. The arm seems there, but he's trying for that split scissors.
Getting his hips a little low, though.
Yes, he is getting
careful.
low.
Look at the face of Tortolani.
Tortolani. Now, Goody can bring that arm through, which he couldn't do. We got one wrestler with great balance, Goody, and we got Tortolani with just great perseverance.
Yeah, but he's going to have to score some points. Even though he's not scoring points, he is riding him, making him carrying his weight in the third period, which can be extremely tiring.
53 seconds left in this match, and we're tied at 5.
And here we see Tortolani fought back from a deficit, fought off his back. And as Steve mentioned, we have a tie match here. Once again, he countered Goody's sit out with the legs.
Got a little high, but was able to get back. Has a crossbody in again.
And now into a Jacobs ride. And that Jacobs ride, keep that opponent's knee higher than his hips.
Guillotine action.
Guillotine action.
Be careful with the shoulder. Tortolani doing a nice job of controlling Goody from top of legs, but hasn't been able to get any backers out of this.
15 seconds left. We could be headed to our first overtime match of the night.
He wants to walk him now. Rotate your hips.
Try to force it.
Try to force it.
Got reversed in the last 10 seconds. Goody on top now, 7-5.
And that'll do it. That's the end of the match. In the last 15 seconds of the match, Goody picks up 2 more points and wins the county title over Ken Tortolani. 7-5 is the final, and what a terrific match. And I'll tell you what, Tortolani certainly doesn't have anything to apologize
He sure doesn't.
for.
Give him a lot of credit. He was going for the back points with 10 seconds to go. He could have gone in overtime, but he was going for the win.
That's right. But what we tell our youngsters is to pin slow. Don't rush that pin. And what happened, as we alluded to, Tortolani tries to force that pin, and Goody countered him.
We've got more wrestling to go from Athelton High. You're watching the best of Howard County Scholastic Athletics on Howard County Cable Channel 8. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Lights, camera, action, as students are the producers and reporters on Panorama. Join hosts Corey Hanza and Nicole Harry as they present features and interviews on a variety of topics, from music to drama, sports to pageants. Panorama highlights the people and activities in our school system and the community. Watch Panorama, a new feature production of the Howard County Public School System, right here on Cable 8.
All righty, we're coming up on the 160-pound weight class. Jeff Henderson, the top seed from Oakland Mills, and Mike Green, the second-seeded sophomore from Wild Lake. Let's meet them. Jeff Henderson is a junior from Oakland Mills. 16-11 overall this year, 6-1 in the county, but he's the top seed in the 160-pound class tonight. In the first round, he received a bye. In the second round, he beat Sean Chaconis from Glenelg. He'll face Mike Green, a sophomore from Wild Lake. Mike is 15-3-1 overall, 6-0-1 in Howard County. Mike received a first-round bye and then defeated Adam Eldridge from Howard in the semifinals. So it's Henderson against Green for the 160-pound championship. Moving on to period number 2, it's scoreless.
Green to his feet, but didn't clear his arm. Out of bounds. Start again.
The secret of getting out from the bottom again, hand control, hand control. It's like the American Express card. You don't leave home without it.
Mike on that ankle. Green with a quick turn. Out front from the sit position, turn. Got the one escape and a quick snap and spin for a takedown. Now he's got the lead 3-0.
Very quick, very nice move.
All in less than 5 seconds.
Whether it's football, wrestling, or whatever, Mike Green is an explosive athlete. Things happen fast with him.
Mike looked more comfortable from his knees in a neutral position than he did from his feet.
Yes, he did. And now we see Jeff on the bottom, and he's having trouble clearing his arms as well.
Again, Jeff's just a junior and learning to wrestle.
Just got to get his head up, start moving. There's not very much mobility taking place down there.
We're under 45 seconds now remaining in period number 2. Mike Green leads 3-0.
Mike Green working underneath the armpits, working a one-on-one, 2-or-1. Then he comes off the wrist and works that waist. That's a good sign of a good rider. Change those rides. Just don't hang in there. Go from a one-on-one, 2-on-1. Control that waist. Go back and pick up an ankle. Keep your opponent off guard.
We saw the official stop both wrestlers, put them back, but they're right in the same position again. They were both warned for stalling. Top man has to work for the fall. Bottom man has to continue to try to escape.
That time we saw Mike working with that arm through the crotch. Henderson able to stand up, and Green countering it. And now Green throws in a leg. He seems very experienced off the top. Seems to have a lot of confidence. That might be his strong suit when he wrestles in the top position.
That's the end of 2 periods. We go to period number 3 with Green still leading Jeff Henderson 3-0. Anybody's match at this point.
Yeah, but Green's certainly in the driver's seat. He was able to ride Henderson out in that last period. Jeff's got to make something happen. He's to his feet. Looks like he's going to get one here. Yeah, they're neutral. He's behind him, but couldn't bring him to the mat. They'll remain on their feet.
Again, there's that explosion off the whistle, and that's why Henderson of HoCo Mills was able to get that stand up and get the 1 point.
3-1, Wild Lake on top. Henderson on a single leg. If he could finish it, it'd tie it up.
And it was a good setup. It was a head shrug. He took that head of Mike Green's and shrugged it or threw it by his body.
Minute 30 left. Green's quick. If he could fine-tune that takedown, he could be extremely effective on his feet.
Green is quick. I'm glad I don't have to chase him on a football field.
He's hard to catch. Rushed for more than 600 yards last year for the Wild Lake JV.
That's all Coach Doug Duvall needs is another running back.
He'll have it next year.
I'm sure the other 7 football coaches in the county are glad to hear that.
1 minute, 6 seconds remaining in this match. Green leads 3-1.
Now that time Jeff Henderson just shot. He didn't execute a setup at all. There Mike Green got on a bear hug, and Henderson tried to counter it with a headlock, and simply Green just stuck underneath and got behind.
And got 2 more points and now leads 5-1 with 40 seconds left in the match.
And has that arm through the crotch. I'm very impressed by this young man off the top, and like you said, Steve, with his quickness.
Jeff Henderson doesn't have much time left. 25 seconds remaining.
Now he's warned for stalling. Looks like he's running out of steam here. And that's the 2nd warning for stalling, so Wild Lake is awarded 1 penalty point. 13 seconds left in the bout.
You get 1 warning, then you get a penalty point, 2, and disqualification.
And that'll do it. Mike Green, sophomore from Wild Lake, is the county wrestling champion in the 160-pound weight class. Well, now we move to the 171-pound weight class, and it's going to be a good one. Top-seeded Nate Casella from Wild Lake will take on number 2-seeded Seamus Gillen from Centennial. Let's meet these wrestlers. Nate Casella is the defending champion in the 160-pound class, but tonight he'll be going for the 171-pound championship. Nate is a junior from Wild Lake, 18-3 overall, 6-1 in the county. He is the top seed in the 171-pound class. In the first round, he received a bye. In the second round, Nate defeated John Guyton from Oakland Mills. He'll face Seamus Gillen from Centennial. Seamus is a senior, 17-2 overall, 5-1 in Howard County, and he is the second seed in the 171-pound class. Seamus received a first-round bye. In the second round, he defeated Randy Garland from Glenelg. So it's Casella against Gillen. This is the 171-pound championship match. We go to the third period. Nate Casella leads 2-1. We finished 2 periods now. About to start the third. Casella leads 2-1.
And we're going to have the optional start here. And this is a smart move on Seamus Gillen's part. Very cerebral. Let him up and try and take him down.
Give up the point, 3-1 now.
That's right. Now you saw Casella right there shoot the single leg, a thing that Seamus Gillen was trying to do earlier, but from a lot closer in, and he garnered the takedown.
You could hear the crowd. They were looking for Casella to turn his opponent over and go for the fall.
And it looks like Casella is going to go on to win this unless he self-destructs, and I don't see that happening right now.
No, he's trying.
He's still going for points. He's trying to lock up the far side cradle, driving ahead to the knee.
Casella leads now 5-1, 1:12 remaining in the match.
And I think,
yeah, on that cross-face cradle, you always want to take the head to the leg because the opponent's leg is going to be strong in your arm. You don't want to walk the arm to the head. You want to walk the head to the arm. And right there we see the coaching staff talking to Seamus Gillen. Now notice the timeout. We see official Dwight Warren over there in that corner, in that Centennial corner. And the reason he's there is because no coaching is allowed during this injury timeout, whether it's to stop bleeding or any other injury. Meanwhile, we see Coach Jackson. He's coaching.
that was a tough break for Nate. He just was able to get that crossface cradle locked up, and looked like he was going to take Seamus to his back for near fall points, but the official had to step in and stop the match because of the nosebleed.
Again, I want to reiterate that it looks like Nate Casella has real good upper body strength.
1 minute, 12 seconds remaining in this match. Once they decide to re-engage it, Casella leads 5-1. Coming up, the 189-pound weight class between the top 2 seeds, and then the heavyweights between seed number 1, Monty Spencer, and number 3, Rodney Baxter.
There we just saw official Dwight Warren in the corner. Looks like Seamus Gill may have a bloody lip. And the injury time, again, to stop bleeding, the injury clock does not run on that. Now, Seamus exploded off the whistle then, but again, going back to Nate Casella's strength, he just caught that near arm and said, "You're coming back down to the mat, son, because this is where I'm staying," and he came back down.
Under a minute now remaining in the match. Casella 50 seconds away from another county wrestling title.
Controlling him with a one-on-one and then reaches underneath the armpit for a 2-on-1, hops back to his left side, trying to go through the crotch. It's good on top if you can hop from side to side. Learn to ride from both sides. Here he's going
back for that cross-face cradle again.
That's right, the cross-face anyway.
Seamus was able to get his hips up that time.
Now, Casella does not want to get sloppy here. If that cross-face cradle's there, it's fine. If not, don't force it. You don't want to make a mistake where that opponent can work back to the inside and put you on your back and you give up 4 or 5 points. Use that cross base for a ride, and then if you can get that head down to the leg, fine. If you can't, don't worry about it.
That's right. It's got to be slow poison. Don't force those combinations, or you'll lose control and end up getting reversed. There goes Sheamus with his Granby again, but that time Casella stayed with him and countered.
He countered real nice, just staying tight to the hips and follow.
I'll tell you what, Nate's tough.
And he's back for one more year.
Yes, he is, only a junior.
So if I was wrestling this county next year and I was an upper weight, I'd see where Nate Casella was and maybe lose a few extra pounds.
Yeah, Nate's just one of those guys, keeps coming back at you.
Sheamus Gilden not giving up, though. He stood up, got his 1 point. Now he's back up on his feet.
And that's it.
5-2.
Nate Casella wins it. 5-2 the final score. So Casella wins the 171-pound county championship. Next up, the 189-pound weight class. Top-seeded Dominique Pierre Toussaint from Howard High School will take on number 2 seed Bill Augustine. Let's meet the wrestlers in the 189-pound weight class. Dominique Pierre Toussaint is from Howard High. He's a senior. 5-0 in the county, 16-2 overall. He's seeded first, and he's the defending champion in the 189-pound class. In the first round, he received a bye. In the second round, he defeated Damian Smith from Oakland Mills. He'll face Bill Augustine, a good wrestler and a senior from Centennial. Bill was 16-1-2 overall, undefeated, 6-0 in the county. Bill received a first-round bye and then defeated Pat Brennan from Hammond in the semifinals. So it's the defending champion, Pierre Toussaint, against Bill Augustine. This is the 189-pound championship. Into the second period, it's Bill Augustine ahead, 2-0.
Augustine on the stand-up, and then he tried to come down to a sit-out and turn in, and Dominique cut him off at the pass.
Top 5 171-pounders to the awards area, please. Mr. Jackson, Mr. Guyton, Mr. Garland, Mr. Gillen, and Mr. Casella.
Cautious match by both of these wrestlers.
Well, I think you get in the upper weight classes, you see more strength, more muscle, and less flurries.
Quick stand-up. Bill did a quick turn in, got the 1-point escape. He's now up 3-0. And let's see if Dominique's learned his lesson, stops reaching, trying for the underhook.
That time he started going to a front headlock, got off the front headlock, and attacked a single leg with an inside arm reach.
Yeah, but he's just charging right now. He's got to set these takedowns up.
That's right. He's not out of this match by a long shot. Just keep working. What I would do if I was Dominique is keep working, feint up like I was going high and then go low. And then we just saw Bill Augustine just do the very same thing. He faked like he was going to reach to tie up Dominique's collar, and Dominique went to fend off that arm, and as he reached to fend off the arm, Augustine attacked the leg to that side.
Picked up 2 more points, and now Augustine leads 5-0 with 32 seconds remaining in the second period.
And referee stopped the bout simply to adjust the headgear for Dominique.
And Dominique's going to have to come from behind if he's going to defend his county championship. Now, these two could see each other again next weekend because both Howard and Centennial are 3A high schools, and like I said earlier, the 3A regional championships will be held at Meade High School.
Very smart match being wrestled by Bill Augustine.
As that time he picked the ankle off the whistle and then came up high. You can pick the ankle, but you can't stay on the ankle. You have to come up off the ankle to break your opponent down. Now he's going back to the ankle. Dominique countered that by just simply straightening out the leg. And then you saw Bill Augustine say, you're going to straighten out the leg, fine, I'll attack you from the rear crotch position. And there's a good example of taking what your opponent gives you.
That's the end of 2. 5-0.
Bill Augustine versus wrestling what I would call a very cerebral match. Taking advantage of what is given to him. He took advantage both the times on the double leg takedowns.
171 pounders, please report to the awards area. Jimmy Jackson.
And he's back on his feet, out for another escape.
Here's a real nice stand-up. He gets the hips out and he gets that hand control and he posts that inside leg real quick.
Now Pierre Toussaint in real deep trouble. Down 6-0. Under a minute 50 remaining in the match.
And Bill's got to be smart here now. He doesn't get caught in one of those throws that Dominique has attempted to set up.
That's right. I'd keep my elbows in very tight, but he's just going to be the aggressor. Dominique with that front headlock. And see what if he's going to try and come off it to attack a leg.
No, Dominique's losing a little bit now. He's turning the wrestling in the backyard wrestling.
Yeah, you could see this set up last time around.
1 point penalty against Dominique on sportsmanlike conduct.
That gives Augustine a 7-0 advantage.
Bill coming right back with a leg attack. Dominique countered, back to their feet. But Dominique's running out of time.
1:10 remaining in the match. 7-0 Augustine leads. Now we're about to see one of the significant upsets of the night, even though it's the number 2 seed in a position to defeat the top seed. He's also defeating the defending champion.
It's true, and it's done it very convincingly.
Oh. Right hook. Got the wrong sport here. It's boxing.
That's his second unsportsmanlike conduct. If he does it again, it'll be at 2 points for Augustine, and if he does it a 4th time, he's going to be disqualified from the match.
And Dominique's just totally frustrated at this point.
That's right.
He's yet to score a point, defending county champion, and he's letting his frustrations come out on the mat.
And I'm sure Coach Fred Bullocks over there is telling him to calm down. Let's just go out, wrestle, do the best you can, finish the match, but let's not make a fool of yourself.
I give a lot of credit to Bill Augustine. He's fought a very smart match.
Yes, he has. He's shown a lot of class, too, all the way through.
Well, this is just about to get out of hand.
Well, I think the official's going to keep it under control.
We're down to 44 seconds remaining in the match.
The official out there, Dick Clem, is a veteran official of many, many years, and he's seen this before, and he knows what's going on, and he'll handle it like a real veteran.
Augustine with pancake action, another 2 points. He's ahead now, 10-0. Looks like he's on his way to shutting out last year's county champion. 10 seconds left, and now Dominique is being warned for stalling on bottom. Not been his night.
10-0. This is about it. 2 seconds. 1 second. That's it. And in the 189-pound weight class, what an upset. Bill Augustine, the number 2 seed, upsets last year's defending champion, Dominique Pierre Toussaint, and you can see the dejection on Dominique.
And Bill joins his brother now as Donnie was champion from Centennial. Now we have Bill joining the ranks.
We're headed for the final match of the night. It's the heavyweights. Top-rated Monty Spencer, the defending champion from Oakland Mills, against Rodney Baxter from Athelton. Let's meet the final two wrestlers of the night. You've seen Monty Spencer before. Monty is from Oakland Mills. He's a senior, and he's the defending 3A, 4A state champion. He was 24-1 overall this past year, but unbeaten in Howard County, 7-0, and he is the top-seeded heavyweight. He received a first-round bye and then defeated Ed Weeks from Howard in the second-round semifinals. He'll take on Rodney Baxter. Rodney is a senior, comes from Athelton High, was 19-5 overall and 5-1 in Howard County. Rodney is the third seed in the heavyweight class. He beat Joe Lupo from Glenelg in round one and then defeated Jesse Pitt from Hammond in the semifinals. So this is the heavyweight class. Spencer against Baxter for the heavyweight championship of Howard County. As we move to the second period, Monty Spencer leads 2-0.
See what Baxter can do from top here. Monty's right to his feet, but Baxter was able to keep the arm under control, brings him right back to the mat.
And we saw Spencer when he stood up there, he did a little something different than our other stand-up wrestlers. He pivoted over that inside leg instead of bringing that inside leg forward, which is a good move, because what you're doing when you're pivoting, you're moving that top man to your advantage.
Monty, quick sit and turn, gets his one-point escape, and we're back on our feet again.
And Spencer picks up the 1 point, gives him a 3-0 advantage. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining in the second period of the final match of the night, the heavyweights.
Now, when Monty Spencer first started to wrestle, I remember he had a real good bear hug. He attacked the upper body, and with his strength, he was very, very good with it.
Very effective on his feet, and actually he's added the leg attacks this year. He's quick enough to do that, and there he just gets a nice and easy spin off of as a counter off of Baxter's shot. And once again, he's got Baxter carrying his weight.
And 2 more points makes it a 5-0 Spencer lead now. We're down to the final 35 seconds of the second period.
189 pounds, top 6 to the awards area.
What a night. We've crowned 12 champions already in Howard County. The 13th is coming up.
15 seconds left in the second period, 5-0, and it's been all Monty Spencer.
Monty hasn't lost a match in Howard County in the last two years, and it looks like he's going to finish his last match with another victory.
There you saw Rodney Baxter try and stand up, and his hips were back, and Monty Spencer says, if that's your hips are back, that's the way I'm going to take it when I countered, and that's what he did. He countered. And there we see Ron McMillan. I think Ron might have thought in reference to their bout during the year that it might be a little bit closer. But I think Monty Spencer's a true champion, and with the cards on the table, so to speak, he's going to rise to the occasion.
There he gives up 1.5-1. So his advantage is now 4, and we're into the final period.
And there we saw Monty Spencer try and move in for that bear hug, and he was going to attack it from the side, not from the front.
You take a good look at Monty Spencer. He's solid.
And there was his quickness again as Rodney Baxter was fending to try and ward off Monty Spencer as he reached up for the head. Just Monty Spencer ducked underneath that arm and spun behind, but he just didn't get him to the mat. He ran out of real estate.
The advantage is now 7-1, and it'll be 7-2 now.
Monty's most comfortable on his feet. He's going to let him up again and continue to go takedowns. He's still looking for that throw. Last time he simply took what Baxter gave him with a spin, take that easy 2 points. But he'd like to lock up here. Yep, there he goes again. You take what's there, and once again, another takedown by Monty simply by spinning behind.
And that wasn't a bad shot by Rodney Baxter. He went in on that single leg, and he had good penetration. Monty Spencer just too quick.
Did you see Monty Spencer take a little glance up at the clock?
Yeah, it's
That's
6
called
minutes is
confidence.
tough.
It's not as if he's concerned, is it?
Well, and the 6 minutes is a long time for all these wrestlers, but particularly for these heavyweights, they have a really tough time in that third period.
I think we should mention here that there is a weight limit in the heavyweight division. The wrestlers cannot weigh more than 275 pounds, and there is a minimum. They can't weigh any less than 188. So, yes, it is possible to eat yourself out of the heavyweight division.
Well, I don't think Monty's going to do that because he's doing a spinning drill out here. He's got 8 points from just spinning and getting takedowns.
What a night of wrestling it's been. What a 2 days of wrestling it's been. Great job by Ed Boxwell and Don Van Dusen also. Great tournament they put on.
Excellent. Don Van Dusen does a lot of behind-the-scenes work. He's an outstanding athletic director, outstanding football coach, and he's a credit to athletics here in Howard County.
That's the end of the match. Monty Spencer has defended his heavyweight championship county title. He is the winner over Rodney Baxter. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this. You're watching the best of Howard County Scholastic Athletics on Howard County Cable Channel 8.
Parents are vital partners in the education of our children. Find out what you can do to maximize your child's education. Join PTA Council President Rosemary Mortimer for PTA Monthly as she and her guests examine the important issues that shape the quality of education in Howard County. Watch PTA Monthly, a new feature production of the Howard County Public School System, right here on Cable 8.
Let's take a look at the final 1992 team standings. And for the third consecutive year, Oakland Mills has won the County Wrestling Championship with 219 points. They have now won 9 out of the past 11 county titles. Hammond High finished second at 203 points. Wild Lake third, 176. Howard fourth, 120. Centennial fifth, 118. Glenelg sixth, 114. Athelton seventh, 71 points. And eighth was Mount Hebron with 59 points. Oakland Mills, the champions of Howard County. We're back at Athelton High School. We'll run back through the winners again. Steve Cho in the 103-pound weight class. Scott Cooper in the 112-pound weight class. Nick Yoon at 119. Mike Maughan at 125. Chris Williams at 130. Adam Seidman at 135. Joe Salinas at 140. Marcus Miles at 145. Matt Goody from Hammond at 152. Mike Green, the sophomore from Wild Lake, at 160. Nate Casella, also from Wild Lake, at 171. Bill Augustine, a bit of a surprise, an upset at 189. And Monty Spencer in the heavyweight division. It's been a great couple of days. Super night tonight. We didn't see any falls, but we certainly saw some outstanding wrestlers. The champions are true champions, but everybody that participated in this event over the last 2 days in whatever category, regardless of their seed, it's been a class act all the way.
I got my money's worth.
I agree with you, Steve. I think it's been an excellent tournament, and now we start building and look forward to next year and another good tournament.
You bet. I've enjoyed working with you both. You've done a great job tonight. Thank you.
Well, the pleasure's been all ours, and we thank you, Steve.
You bet.
And really appreciate station Cable 8 putting this on first time in 23 years, and again, it brings that recognition to the kids, which they so richly deserve.
And I'll tell you, the production team tonight, you did an absolutely fantastic job. To our director, producer, Glenn Simonelli, cameraman Mike Dubbs, Hugh Lenzer, Don Simonelli, and our replays by Keith Stemler. Thanks to you all. You do a great job regardless of it's football, basketball, or county wrestling. And so for Al Wilgard and Steve Carnahan, I'm Steve Bassett from Athelton High School. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yoko Ono, who let you in?
Oh, the same guy who let Dan Aykroyd in last time.
Wait a minute. Somebody explain to me. Are we here?
Okay, so what do y'all want to do first, children?
Oh, I know what you do, Mr. Homie. We put on finger paint.
Oh, y'all want to finger paint, huh? Come on. Yeah. Let me show you how the man finger paints. Come
Okay.
here.
Oh,
There you go.
that's not very pretty.
Damn right it ain't. By the looks of your face, neither is your mama. Now sit down.
Mr. Homie, I want to be a fireman when I grow up.
Oh, man, that ain't nothing. I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
Now, I'm going to work for the government.
You mean like making laws?
Yeah,
And handing out government cheese?
yeah.
And signing bills and raising homie's taxes?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
once
yeah.
again, homie has to give up all the things he loved in life?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Just get my licks in now before you sell out. All right, enough of all the fun, children, because I'm about to explode with joy. It's time for the reading lesson. Let's start with the letter A.
Ooh, hey. I know.
A is for arrested. Can anyone make a sentence with the word arrested?
Go
ahead.
I can. Since you have so much A attitude, I think that homie has been arrested before.
Very good. It takes us to the letter B. B, because you got such a smart mouth, I'm gonna bap you upside your damn head. That takes us to the letter C. C is for conspiracy. Can anybody tell me what conspiracy is?
Yeah, I could tell ya. My dad says conspiracy is just a word that black people use as an excuse for why they always get in so much trouble.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. See, that takes us to the letter D. And D is for your dumbass daddy. This is for you, and that's for your dumbass daddy.
Hey, Mr. Homie, Mrs. Walker don't teach us the alphabet that way.
That's because Miss Walker is D, dead. Anybody make a sentence with dead? Okay, little children. Let's play another game. Big kid, you stand up, be my volunteer.
Sure, homie!
Now, homie has $5.
Wow.
If Billy took 2, what would he have?
$3, homie!
No, a size 12 clown shoe on your ass. Give me my money back and sit down. Okay, it's time for homie sing-along. Repeat after me, will you?
Yeah, yes.
Homie's tired.
Homie's tired.
Of the man. Always pulls him over. I should run his white ass over, cause then I go back on probation, and then they put me away for some more time, take me away, and lock me up, and then do everything I don't want to do, and I have to stay in the cell with bummers. Come on, back me up, y'all. This ain't Star Search. So, little children, what have we learned, if nothing else?
Homie don't play that!
Very good. Now let's play hooky and get the hell out of here.
Is the living color in the house? Come on, throw your hands in the air. Come on, throw your
tomorrow on the Fox Morning News.
The following is a special Prime Movie presentation.
They looked like the perfect American family.
I can't imagine a father being prouder of his son than I am of you.
But they were living a lie.
You can't tell people I'm gay. My parents would die.
You have a son who drinks himself into a stupor every night. You've got a daughter who's ashamed of her husband. And you've got another son who almost killed himself rather than tell you he's not what you think he is.
We're not going to talk about this now.
No, when are we going to talk about it? When someone actually dies?
And now, doing time on Maple Drive.